Well, you're behind so many of these fun, family-friendly movies. Um, you've got Alvin and the Chipmunks, you've got the first Trolls, which is my kid's favorite movie, and now you've got
Okay.
Kung Fu Panda 4. What draws you to make family-friendly content?
It's basically I love to start working on these when we find a really good theme that we want to explore. And I don't know if you noticed it, but for Kung Fu Panda, the theme that we chose is change, and it's something that I get really interested in because it's not just for kids; it's also for adults. We try to make these films for everyone. And when we came up with change, we figured that was something relatable to kids because, they go from grade school to junior high, and that could be very stressful, or junior high to high school. That can be filled with anxiety for a kid. Moving on to the unknown, and same for adults. Like when we go from one job to the next, or even moving locations, can be very stressful and filled with anxiety. And what we wanted to get across through our story and Poe's lesson that he learns is moving uh, on to something else, and changing isn't leaving yourself behind. It's just maybe building upon who you were and maybe becoming something even better than you already were. So I get really inspired, and I think that's great for families to discuss it, whether it comes up for discussion or at least just to get through to parents and kids and have a nice message.
Well, talk about the role that entertainment does play in child's development and why it's so important that we have some of these meaningful movies to put in front of our kids.
Well, first and foremost, we want to entertain. Kung Fu Panda, one of my favorite things of working on it is it's funny, and it also embraces kung fu. There's no other franchise that embraces fighting and kung fu and that genre and humor. So it's fun, it's joyful, but at the same time, if I think it's important for kids to have that sense of play and be playful. I mean, that's the time where you should be fantasizing, and maybe you can be the dragon warrior, or maybe you can become like a troll like Poppy, and save the day at the end of the day with a song. Who knows? But I think it's one of those fun, silly things that again, I'm not so sure it's for kids. I think adults could tap into this as well and have a really good time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got some new characters this time around. How did you approach character development, especially for the new characters that are introduced in this installment?
Well, for our big new character is Jin, the fox, and we knew we wanted to work with Aquafina, and fortunately, her and Jack were already friends, which was interesting, and I think that kind of informed a lot of the humor we had in our film. But when we started to design her, we figured Poe is a black and white panda, right? And so he sees the world in black and white. There are heroes and there are villains. And so when we came up with Jen, we figured she's a gray Corsac Chinese fox, shades of gray, because she is kind of a friend and she's helping him take down the villain, but at the same time, she's a thief. She's kind of a bad guy, and she hangs out in the den of thieves with a lot of people that commit crimes. And so we thought that was an interesting thing for Poe to explore and to change his worldview and maybe not judge a book by its cover, and consider, especially in this world, this internet world that we have now, where you have to point fingers and say something's bad or something's good. It's kind of nice to explore and keep an open mind and maybe consider that someone is able to change. I think that's the right thing to do, and that's one of our sub themes. That again, not just for kids. I think the grown-ups could learn that as well.
Absolutely. So, what was your strategy for keeping the franchise fresh and engaging for audiences who have followed it since the beginning? Which I believe the first movie was it 2006?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was a really long time ago. Yeah, and like I said, it probably took so long to make this from even the third one because we wanted to tell the right story. We didn't just want to make another one. We wanted to make sure that we had the right story, the right theme to make this. And one of the things that we were conscious of is we wanted to, it's a part four, so you have to be four times as funny and four times as action packed. And a big one was like upping all of our action sequences. And so the technology has changed with the camera work. So we're able to put in like kind of GoPro style cameras that we hadn't used for part one, two, and three to incorporate that into this film. And my team that I work with, all the creative artists and animators, they called it the GoPo camera, which was kind of funny. But we did this camera work, but at the same time, Kung Fu fighting has advanced, and there's been a bunch of advances with Kung Fu fighting. So unlike the previous movies, for this one, we hired a stunt team of people that actually performed a bunch of the stunts. And the woman that played the fox put on a big tail. She wore a big tail so the animators could watch that whip around as she was doing Kung Fu moves. And the guy who played Po, he had a staff. Po has a new way of fighting, this the staff of wisdom that he uses in this film. So that was a really neat thing that we used to elevate all the fight sequences, and we handed all that footage over to the animators, and then the animators would plus it even more and make it even crazier. So a combination of all the new technology and new things, we figured it would really help make this film, update this film, and make it impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously this movie is really funny. How do you find that balance between keeping it really funny, but also very appropriate for kids?
Um, uh, that's interesting. We don't ever want to be offensive, do we? I mean, why would we want to do that? I don't think any film needs to be offensive. Like, there's a way to have fun and laugh, and that's something that stands the test of time, and it never goes away. And so, yeah, it's interesting. It's probably why I work in family films. It's just something that comes natural to all of us at DreamWorks, is we really appreciate. We love jokes, we love humor, and we always just want to make sure that we're never offending anyone, and it's something that I think comes naturally to us, strangely enough.
What are some of your favorite reactions from kids or from adults who have watched your films and it's deeply impacted their lives beyond just being entertained?
I don't know how much I've deeply impacted anyone's life, but I do love it when I look into the audience when we show a film and there's a dad that laughs at a joke and looks down at his 8-year-old daughter and she's laughing at the same joke. That's like a magic trick to me, and I love it. And it's proof that, we don't make these for adults, we don't make it for kids, we make it for everyone. And when those jokes land and hit all ages, it's one of my favorite things.
I love that. Well, ultimately, what is your hope for Kung Fu Panda 4? What do you want audiences to be talking about, feeling after they see this movie?
Honestly, I would love everyone to go see it in the theater. We work so hard, and that's why I'm so appreciative of you doing these interviews. You get people excited, you get them interested, for them to go see it in the theater, because we work on these and, painstakingly work on the fur and how the chameleon transforms into another character, and we do the sound mix for a big theater room, and we've got the Hans Zimmer score that we do. And so I'm so thankful for you asking all these questions, because everyone on my team, and there's almost like 500 people that work on these films over the course of 3 years, we love it when people see it in the theater, and usually that's a communal family experience, and we like that too. Like, everyone usually goes as a family. Rarely does anyone, it's fine, but rarely does anyone go to the theater alone. And it's usually a family, and what happens afterwards is they discuss it, whether they liked it or not. It's great to get the family talking or friends talking and having a discussion. So that makes me happy.